One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his packs will cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistles report he paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Let's get it in this morning, everybody. Shout out to all of you guys. Hey, thank you. A round of applause to all of you guys that are part of the membership, part of the Breakfast Club, man. I very much appreciate you guys. We can't do the fucking show without y'all, just so you know. I very much appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with your boy and also giving a like to the video, man. It's the number one metric of all of YouTube. I very much appreciate all of you guys. If you guys would like a shout out during the live stream, as always, we have the donation scrolling down below. If you'd like to donate where YouTube doesn't get a 30% cut. But also all super stickers, super chats, and memberships are, of course, shouted out. So let's get it in this morning. I very much appreciate all of you guys. Good to see all of you guys. Honestly, man, you know, it's funny. I find that our community comes up in topic a lot, man. And whether it's people that are a part of this community or from the outside, or other content creators, man, it's just an honor watching and having other people actually recognize and go, holy shit, like the community over there is like insane. You know what I mean? And it's like that everywhere that comes in, people that are watching from the outside and then they decide to finally comment or whatever the fuck, man. It's awesome, man. We would have to be a little messed up to follow Mike and his shenanigans. That's a fact. You would have to be. You would have to be, bro. Absolutely. And we prefer the blue crayons. Yes, that's right. Don't cap about it.
Not the cap.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Tiffany. Appreciate you for being here as well. Good morning, Papa. Good to see you, as well as Dean. Man, Huggy, thank you as well for the donation in the very beginning of the show. Actually, it was before the show had even started, like 2 hours before. So I got to give a big shout out to you over there. Thank you for that, saying keep up the good work, man. I very much appreciate that. More than you know, that shit adds up, man. I spent it with my siblings fixing up my mom's house, lots of tossing stuff in the trash, dealing with escape artists, aka goats, that won't stay in their pen, and drank a few beers. Hey, man, that sounds like a fucking good time, to be honest. Good job on fixing it up, man. And real quick, I got to give a real big shout out over to Steve Easy with the super sticker $10 donation, man. Thank you for that. Sincerely, man. That shit fucking adds up way quicker than people even understand. Like, people were like, man, like, I don't want to have to like send $1 or $2. I'm like, man, why? Like, that shit adds up, dude. I don't know what you guys are tripping on. But like that, man, I very much appreciate that. Thank you, kind sir. And let me not forget my 50-ish adult siblings arguing over nonsense. Oh, well, that part does suck. You know what I mean? That part does suck for sure. That's right, SNS. Time to rock and roll. When we get it in the morning, we get it in. What up, Carney? Good to see you as well. Good to see you. Playing the Democrats anthem. Oh shit, dude. Oh shit. We're gonna get it in this morning with the topic of today. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a good one. Morning, everyone. Dealing with the first day of school stuff, but I'll catch the replay. Please hit the like. Hey, Barbie, much love. Appreciate you, sis, for being here. Absolutely, we're gonna have a good conversation for damn sure. Holy shit, dude. No fucking way. Wow. Dark Horse coming in thick with the $20 dono, man, over here in Alabama. Appreciate you for being here, my man. Thank you. That shit goes so fucking far, man. Thank you, guys. How many Dems does it take to change a light bulb? None. They sit in the dark and blame the bulb company. Oh, shit, man. Dark Horse, thank you again from the bottom of my heart, man. That shit fucking, all of this shit adds up, man. So very much thank you. That's right. Good looking out. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in today's topic of, hey, these are quotes. Donald Trump is feared and quote, Kamala isn't presidential. So where are we getting this from? We're going to go ahead and watch, of course, some lovely debating. You know what I mean? I love debates. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the debates that I've been showing you guys, whether it's with Andrew Wilson or with Piers Morgan, whatever the fuck we're doing, these panels that we get, man. And I love having actual oppositions of ideologies discussing, you know what I mean? I love shit like that. So we're going to go ahead and get it in. We got Brother Code up in the building. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here this morning. Great show this morning, by the way. You always have some amazing topics, kind sir. Big Joe up in here as well. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for being here as well. All right, let's go ahead and get it in. So this is off of Piers Morgan, man. And as you can see, I'm already subscribed to YouTube. I hit that like button. I banged on that like button over there just to show them, hey, listen, I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do over here on YouTube. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's go ahead and get into this and let's go ahead and review some of this fucking footage together.
Enemy. So go ahead, run your mouth about Kamala Harris. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump's still a lunatic.
Emily's a Jewish girl, and she mentioned the strength through joy was 100%
that's true.
hijacked from the Nazis. 33, I have to read this, Emily. Hold on one second, guys. It was set up as a tool to promote the advantages of Nazism.
I'm blaming Joe Biden.
Oh boy, we're going to get it in this morning.
That are controlling him, because I genuinely believe he has one foot in the grave. We don't know who's in charge.
I bet you it was jumping Dark Horse.
Oh, look at Kamala Harris. She's a slightly normal politician. Ooh, that's so scary.
Anthony was fired.
Top of the morning,
10 days,
Slim.
Sounds like a bitter ex-employee. Cenk has Trump derangement syndrome, whether you like it or not, brother.
Where
Oh,
are we
shit.
now with this election, do you think?
Our model has the November outcome basically 50-50.
So the key question is, who's going to be president of the United States come November 5th?
This is a guy, that guy right there, that was one of the head guys that deals with polls.
Well, the summer's off to the quiet time in news and politics, but the
Speaking of like button, smash that like button for Mike. I appreciate you,
has
shout
been
out.
running
Much
at full
love, bro.
throttle. A month ago, even the most passionate and partisan Democrat would have struggled to pretend that
Wow.
Kamala Harris is anything more than a middling
Yes,
vice
man.
president with dubious credentials for the highest office in the land.
User, good to see you,
But
man.
almost overnight, she's been manufactured into a cultural phenomenon and a visionary. Most of all, she's apparently a harbinger of joy.
The one thing that I will not forgive them for is their try to steal the joy from this country.
The joy felt by Americans backing the Harris-Walz ticket.
We are joyful warriors.
Oh,
Being
boy.
joyful is part of the American
Joyful.
identity.
The joy factor
We're so
campaign of
joyful.
joy.
You're talking about radical joy.
It is
Radical
downright
joy.
joyful.
It looks like a joyous rally. It looks like a joyous occasion.
A real zeal.
What
and
is going
joy
on?
in the campaign?
The joy that you're bringing back to the country.
Oh,
Joyful,
God.
exuberant rally.
Thank you for bringing back the joy.
Oh, God, this is
Hope and
cap.
joy.
Something incredibly joyful.
She does
Why
it
are so many
all
people
with a
falling for this
sense
shit?
of joy.
Joy. Joy.
Joy,
Joy.
joy,
Joy.
joy, joy, joy.
Joy.
Imagine that. American politics.
Oh, the
Unreal.
joy. Why
joy.
am I not feeling quite so joyful? Why do none of them look that joyful as they said all that? The same battery
Piers.
of commentators, strategists, and grandees who conspired to oust the actual
Happy,
president
happy,
of the
joy,
United
joy,
States,
that's
Joe
right.
Biden, are now working equally ardently over time to ensure that they get to choose the next one. Will the American people swallow all
Yeah, no
this
kidding, Hardwire.
enforced joy? Can Harris withstand the scrutiny that comes with the home straight of a presidential campaign? Or will she simply dodge that scrutiny altogether after 40 days without an interview or a press conference? This is how she answered the easiest, most predictable question of all when she finally sat down with CNN.
If you are elected, what would you do?
Oh, we're going to go
day
based
one
off of
in
a
the
lot
White
of
House?
emotions
Well-
today. We're going to watch a lot of emotions. And ironically, there are the left and the right on this panel. Who do you think shows their emotions? Just asking. You know, I'm asking the question to you guys. Who do you think shows their emotions, the left or the right? Let me know what you think.
There are a number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class.
Negative. User.
When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been
Yes,
fueled
I mean,
by,
right.
by
If Pierce Morgan can start making fucking sense on your ass, you might want to re-question your position. For real. For real. And I mean, listen, like for instance, Pierce Morgan, who we're about to see, has been notoriously, you know, kind of left-leaning. And for him to deny that would be crazy, but he definitely was left-leaning for a long time and then realized the facts, you know what I mean? And so, but nonetheless, yeah, it's very true. You definitely want to start rethinking your position if Pierce Morgan is actually making valid points on your ass.
Hope and by optimism.
Oh, come on, Kamala. What does all that mean? It's just word salad.
Word salad.
Regardless of your politics, it's not an answer to an obvious question.
See? He's saying some basic
Kamala's
shit.
first command to her team from behind the Resolute desk is do what you can to support the middle class. America's in big trouble. What her campaign is doing successfully is somehow managing to distance Harris from everything she's ever said or done, particularly in the administration in which she has served as vice president. She's apparently flipped positions on everything from the border wall to abolishing private health insurance, imposing electric car mandates, defunding the police, and banning fracking. None of it seems to matter. The message is clear. Kamala Harris is shiny, new, and nothing to do with what's happened before, either under Joe Biden or what's come out of her own mouth.
Yes, with her talking about the fracking shit, I don't know if they say it in here or not, or show it, with her, you know, actually saying that she would not ban fracking completely, you know what I mean? That she would not do that. That's a promise and all this shit. And but she had a different position like 4 years ago or whatever. And on top of that, no, you may not ban it, but you may make it almost impossible, basically impossible to fucking frack unless they're spending billions of dollars for you and your foundations and shit. You know what I mean?
A new way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era.
You've literally been in charge for nearly 4 years of that 10 years. This is your era. And I use that pronunciation very deliberately.
Yes, Steve.
This woman was the
honestly,
vice
if you do change your position, even if I change my position on here, and I'm no politician, and I don't have to necessarily give that answer out, but if I do change my position, I am going to actually explain why I'm going to change my position, because I will give you guys the facts on what made me think a different way. I'm not going to go based off of emotion like 99% of these people do. You know what I mean? But you are right, Steve. If anyone does change their position, especially in politics, they definitely should be obliged. You should be obligated to tell the public why you changed your position. It should never be because of money. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be influence in that regard. But hey, this is how we got into this fucked up situation that we're in now.
The United States is the vice president of the United States. There's actually a president who's on the beat somewhere. Well, the cabal was united to force her boss into retirement. Meanwhile, is still barely able to contain his glee.
The person who should be applauded is the president who did the most selfless thing that anybody's done since George Washington. And that's true.
No,
Whatever.
people make their own decisions.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, they do. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for what you didn't do.
What up, Joker? Appreciate you for being here. That was pretty dope of him to say right there.
Extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, it was George Clooney with his op-ed in the New York Times and Nancy Pelosi, who apparently said to Biden, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, but you're out, sunshine. It was those two who led the campaign to get rid of him. They were the Brutuses to the Caesar. And yet now
No,
they
I
want
have
us to
not heard
think
from
this
Spade
guy's
this
the
morning.
greatest guy since sliced bread.
What up,
Greatest is
Cuzzo?
Washington,
Shout out,
the
man.
first president of the United States, the founder of the United States, the man that many Americans think was the greatest president. Is that how anyone views Joe Biden? A man
No,
who,
come
before
on.
he could even
Stop
serve
the
a
cap.
second term, had to be bullied and shamed and humiliated out of his position as the nominee for 2024 by his own team, by his own people.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot
rough.
to call out about Kamala Harris and her campaign. In my view, the Trump campaign also has its problems. It's yet to regain its footing and
Cheers,
confidence
everyone.
that it had when Biden was the nominee. Let's be clear, Trump destroyed Biden at that debate and was heading for an easy victory if Biden had stayed in the race. It's not quite so certain or easy now. But there's a cautionary note here for Democrats too. The last time Trump took on a woman who appeared to be surging in the polls with the same George Clooney slamming him from a press conference at a movie festival,
course.
things didn't quite work out the way everyone expected. It may feel like it began 100 years ago, but the real race for the president of the United States begins now. Well, joining me now to debate all this, the Young Turks founder, Cenk Uygur, the former White House Communications Director, Anthony Scaramucci, broadcaster and journalist Emily Austin, and from the PBD podcast, the commentator and self-professed
Pablo.
angry
That's right.
patriot, Vinny Ashana.
Money and votes.
Welcome to all of you. Wow, I've been away
I love
3
these
weeks or
panels.
so.
Real
All
quick.
hell as normal as broken
Real
loose.
quick, one of my favorite things about doing this job is reviewing panels like this. These type of panels are ideal for me. I love when you have, let's say, normally you would have like 2 Republicans on and 2 Democrats on, and then they kind of debate their worldview. These are things I love, especially when it's uncensored and blood sports almost. You know what I mean? It's not quite blood sports debating, because we all know these guys couldn't handle blood sports. So that's where you can kind of curse. Nothing's really off limits. You can't, you can curse and stuff, but you can't. There's certain things that they draw the line on blood sports, and that's like going into like family or personal bullshit. Everything else is pretty much up for grabs as long as you're within the terms of service of whatever, YouTube or whatever. But yeah, so anyways, I love this because it does get into some heated debate, and I love that shit.
Because all hell breaks loose every week in this race. Anthony Scaramucci, great to have you on Uncensored. We've spoken many times over the last few years about all things American politics.
No, it's not.
You
The
posted
Democrats aren't
October
going to
the
let
1st, don't be surprised if Donald Trump drops out of the race. Nearly 10 million people viewed that post.
Wow,
Do you
what?
stand by it?
You guys
And
hear that? What kind of fucking claim is that? Will Trump pull out of the race? Wait, why would he ever do that in his right mind? Okay, I brought this back. I got to hear that again.
All things American politics. You posted on October the 1st, don't be surprised if Donald Trump drops out of the race.
What?
Nearly 10 million people viewed that post.
Yeah, because there's 10 million people looking at that post going, this is fucking absurd. Who the fuck would say that? Like, how is that a thing?
Stand by it. And if you do, will you accept a $1,000 bet from me right now that Trump isn't going to pull out?
Well, I'll bet you $1,000 on the election. I don't know if I'm going to bet on the pullout. I mean, he's got to drop more substantially in the polls. He's down 6 with the likely voters. If she opens up a lead 12 to 15 points, he's not going to want to lose to her. He's the worst presidential candidate for the Republicans since Herbert Hoover. He's lost the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And if DeSantis or Nikki Haley was running against Kamala Harris, they'd probably be up 10 or 15. So we'll have to see. But on likely voters, he's already down 6. And I like her momentum. I understand all the issues that you're raising related to her, but unfortunately, there's only 2 choices. There's him and her. And I think I would implore people to read H.R. McMaster's book if they get a chance, because he's very honest and very objective about the insanity that is Donald Trump.
I mean, Anthony, if I'd asked you
$1,000 on
this guy that is saying Trump is basically a piece of shit, you're going to find out a little bit further into this why he thinks the way he does. You're going to see, does he go based off of fact? Or does he go based off of emotion? We will find out. He will expose himself later.
the election. I got Kamala. You can take
I'll
the
tell you
orange
what,
man if
we'll
you want.
make
but
it for
I'm
charity.
I'm done on that.
We'll
Wow.
make it for charity.
And also,
I'll
I got to
take
give a shout out real quick. We got brother Lee that gave a donation over to the Cash App, man. I thank you so much for that. That shit, fuck, man. Thank you very much. So, like, listen, man, if you donate, let's just say you donate $100 on YouTube, it takes a 30% cut. So it takes $30 and you get 70 as a creator, which is great. But when you send it to Cash App like that, man, I get 100% of it, man. So thank you for that. Very much so. I very, very much appreciate that, man.
I still think Trump's going to win. I'm not an American citizen. I don't have a vote. I don't have a horse in the race.
Okay.
I just think reality is going to kick in. And if I asked you, Anson, before we move to the others, if I'd asked you even 2 months ago, do you think Kamala Harris would make a great president of the United States? You would have laughed out loud. Be honest.
Again, there's two choices in the race. I know I don't want to go back to what we had. I think it was a unmitigated disaster. He embarrassed me by supporting him, and he's actually an embarrassment on the world stage. And he doesn't even understand things like the nuclear triad. The guy is a walking disaster, and so I will take her over him. But you're right. If there were other candidates available, you were available, Pierce. You're not over 35 yet, but if you were an American citizen and over 35, I would take you.
See,
this is why we've only got two choices.
This is really why I wanted you on the program. Because I knew
Steve,
that
you're
you
so
would
funny, dude.
Flatter me in a way that I would find irresistible. Emily Austin. So look, Kamala Harris was nobody's choice, even on the Democrat side, to be president of the United States.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, Beezer? I mean, there is no, I'm appreciative of anything. I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression, by the way. You know what I mean? Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm not going to ever bitch or anything about any of that. But yes, that is the fact that YouTube takes 30%. That's just what it is, what it is. I mean, every YouTuber deals with that. So, yeah, appreciate you guys.
Months ago. You guys. Suddenly she's apparently the great, fresh, new thing. Despite the fact that she's been Biden's vice president for nearly 4 years, how can she continue to execute this tripwire of pretending she's not responsible or accountable for everything that's gone on in this administration?
The answer is that she can't. You know, there's only so long you could portray this facade that you have everything figured out. But what I hope to see happen sooner than later, because the clock is ticking, is for the emotions to be removed from this election. Kamala could run her Ren and Stimpy, happy, happy, joy, joy campaign all she wants. Which sounds strikingly similar to Hitler's strength through joy, but I'm not even going to get into that. But at some point, which will happen likely in this debate, is her policies have to be questioned. She can run on the joy campaign. Trump is the policy president. He addresses it head on, whether it's easy or hard. Kamala can't even face the media. Her pre-taped lied to be what was a live interview on CNN. She couldn't even do it without her babysitter nearby. And she's an embarrassment to the country. And it's not because she's a woman.
That's a valid.
It's not because she's a woman.
That's a valid thing right there. Absolutely, Road Rage. It's so funny because her popularity came at the cost of patriarchy. Like, patriarchy was the reason why she even is given the popularity that she has now. She has definitely grown in popularity within her own party. She was really not known like that. I mean, yes, she was a name, of course. Of course, she was VP, no doubt. But her popularity definitely came up as soon as an old man retired. You know what I mean?
Woman of color. Sure, she's a lovely woman. And as a celebrity, she's quite entertaining. But presidentially, she would embarrass us on a global stage.
What up,
She's
Dwayne?
embarrassing us domestically, and it would be disastrous. Everything he just said about Trump, I believe the same to Kamala Harris.
All right, Chick Yuga, she's an embarrassing disaster. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing's been preposterous. Kamala Harris is a very standard, normal politician. And you guys—
What?
Stop the cap.
There's no way that you just said that, homeboy.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing's been preposterous. Kamala Harris is a very standard, normal politician.
Wow.
And you guys are ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is that Donald Trump is a lunatic.
Oh my God. Every time it's the same argument every fucking time. What about them though? What about them though? If you have to say when you're on defense on a position and you have to go, what about them though? You lost. That's how that works, by the way. You guys are fucking crazy to think that is a way to debate in the first place. You know what I mean? You're off skating.
So you guys are having this conversation. This normal politician, oh my God, she might not be good enough. Wow, she's running with joy. That sounds like Hitler. All these kind of loony things that you guys are all saying. When the other guy's a lunatic. He thinks we should terminate the Constitution. He thinks that all of our crowds are AI-created images. He believes absolutely insane things, thought that his vice president deserved to be murdered by his supporters. And we're having a nonsense conversation about Kamala Harris running with joy being a bad thing. And guys, there's a lot of reasons that she does that. But one of the reasons is to juxtapose the hatred from the other side, which you guys are amply displaying. The other side's like, oh my God, everybody's the enemy. The immigrants are the enemy. The Democrats are the enemy. Oh, they're killing babies after they're born. All these lunatic talk. So go ahead, run your mouth about Kamala Harris.
On about?
But at the end of the day, Donald Trump's
you wanted to dress that up a little bit more than it fucking was, obviously. Murder babies after they're born. That's what he claimed right there, which is so not true, obviously. Nobody in their right mind is in that mindset. You know what I mean? We know that the left doesn't do that either. We're talking about abortion. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Anybody that does essentially support that, you can't, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me that that's even like a real big topic. I honestly think that it should be just dealt with where it is now. You know what I mean? Leave it delegated to the states. Let the states figure it out.
And then
you got a problem with it, go to your local government.
Madman like that who doesn't even believe in America. He thinks we should terminate our Constitution. He had no problem trampling our democracy. I'm not letting that clown come in here and destroy this country.
All right, Vinny Oshana. He's a clown who'll destroy the country, an 800-pound gorilla. This is apparently these are the nice guys spreading joy.
Yeah,
well, you
listen,
guys are super nice.
I have to say this,
always, if they can connect dots, they will always bring it back to Bush Jr. because that's a Republican. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like they're going to go anytime they can. They're going to go after anybody especially when it doesn't have really any merit. It's hilarious, their arguments.
Emily, you kind of brushed over it, love, and I think you should have stayed on it. Emily's a Jewish girl, and she mentioned the strength through joy was 100% hijacked from the Nazis. It was in 1933. I have to read this, Emily. Hold on one second, guys. I actually want to read this because Emily's right. They ripped a Nazi. Hold on, Cenk. I didn't interrupt you. The Nazi labor campaign of 1933, that's it. It was set up as a tool to promote the advantages of Nazism. So whoever's coming up with this joy campaign, they should do a little bit more research. And you know what? Instead of going Trump and talking bad about, I don't know, Anthony, I know Cenk and I respect Cenk. We disagree politically, but let's talk about the actual State of the Union right now, peers. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but an American Jewish hostage was murdered by Hamas. That just happened a couple days ago. And also, the Hells Angels are en route right now to Aurora, Colorado, to stop a Venezuelan brutal gang. And the gang is called Tren Aragua because they've taken over apartment complexes. They're sex trafficking women. They're doing drugs. The FBI is not doing nothing. The mayor's not doing nothing. The governor's not doing anything. Why is all this happening? You know why? Because Joe Biden is on vacation. He's still on vacation. 40% of his administration. Kamala Harris is in a just going around with herself, with her support human being. Who's actually running the country right now? Everybody's worried about the future and Trump, and he's such a threat to democracy. Why did he do all that stuff in the 4 years that he was here? I'm genuinely curious.
It was hilarious.
All this threat and all these problems. Name one thing that was, oh my God, a threat to democracy. What was it? And what is Kamala going to do? I want Anthony and Cenk to tell me what's one thing, hold on. What's one thing Kamala, people are going to vote for Kamala for? Anthony, just random. What are you going to vote for Kamala Harris for?
Vinny, you've asked lots of questions there. I would say clearly what happened personally on January the 6th was an attack on democracy. You know, when a very large mob of people attacked the Capitol, and start calling for lawmakers to be hung because they're trying to reverse an election decision, that's an attack on democracy. You can spin it any way you like, but it is. But Anthony, let me ask Anthony the second part of that, because I'm sure he would say the same. Very interesting question Vinny raised there. Who is running the United States? I felt very strongly when Kamala Harris effectively sailed through as the nominee. It was clearly a party machinery operation to get her the nomination as fast as possible. Would it not have been better for America if the Vice President of the United States in that situation, who's now the official nominee, actually replaced Joe Biden as President of the United States?
Appreciate you for being here,
very,
Dr. Harley.
very odd.
Good to see you, man.
As a non-American who loves the country, has a home there. I was there for several weeks in August. To see endless pictures of Joe Biden on the beach.
I can't argue that, Evil Rick.
Kamala Harris meeting world leaders. It's very odd.
I want
it's
a republic
strange.
back
It doesn't seem to make any sense. Do you think it's right and proper what we're seeing now?
Well, listen, what I think is right and proper is actually never going to happen. I have to deal with the world the way it is.
But what do you think is right and proper?
But
that implies you agree with me.
To answer Vinny's issue, okay, I don't like seeing what's happening in Aurora, Colorado, but I saw Donald Trump in the Situation Room, and I understand the mechanisms of this person.
She posted it, Hook Dog. I think she posted that whole ordeal, her apologizing on the internet like 4 or 5 times. I saw all of those well, some of them were deleted, some of them were redone, remade. It was some chick on the internet. You know what I mean? She went on TikTok and lied and got people to believe in that shit, which is hilarious. I mean, that's exactly why I didn't report on it during the weekend. Like, that wasn't something we discussed and still went live all weekend. We didn't talk about it at all because it was bullshit. It was bullshit, of course. You know what I mean?
Personality and the impetuosity and the lack
insane
of
wheels know what we're doing over here,
and
don't
no
we?
executive management skills. And so what Sank is saying, I would take a more garden variety politician who will follow the rules-based society. I don't want somebody that's currying favor with dictators. I don't want somebody that's going to roll back NATO. I don't want somebody that's going to let Vladimir Putin walk into the Ukraine. So that's me. That's what makes America great.
Can we challenge you on that?
That actually doesn't answer Vinny's question.
Emily, I'll come to you. But Anthony, hang on. Just on that point, Anthony, all I would say is this. Trump didn't go into war with anyone in his 4 years, whatever you think of him. Putin didn't invade Ukraine or anywhere else.
Yes, while Trump was in office.
I don't want to stop
those things.
Hey, shout out Johnny Mac. Appreciate you for being here, man.
They're just facts. And when it comes to rolling back NATO, I watched and listened very carefully, given that my country is part of NATO, to what Trump actually said. He wanted other member countries of NATO to pay their due. He was sick and tired of America having to pay the vast majority of the costs of NATO and other countries not paying their due. By the way, hang on. Okay. By the way, on that, he was 100% right. And many of those countries he castigated are now paying significantly more towards the cost of NATO as a result of what Trump did. So on those 2 points, I'm not so sure that you're on good ground.
I'll curse for it.
Well, I think you got to give me a chance to respond, because this is what Trump does. He says two contrary things at the same time. His detractors hold on to one thing. His people that love him hold on to another thing, his advocates. And so he made it very clear to John Bolton. He made it very clear to General Kelly, Jim Mattis, Rex Tillerson that he wanted out of NATO.
Hey, Hook Dog, that's fucking facts right there. And it's sad. That's a sad reality, what you just said. Isn't it amazing? A foreign media guy is more American than some Americans. And it's very true. It's evident who loves and hates this country. That's it. It's all about how much love and respect you've got for your country. That's it. That's really what it boils down to.
He slowed down the arms shipments to the Ukraine. In 1994, we cut a deal with them. They were the 6th largest nuclear arsenal in the world. We got the nukes back in exchange for security guarantees. He slowed down the arms shipments. There's an irrefutable fact to that, a result of which gave Vladimir Putin an opening in the Ukraine. Moreover, he moved the embassy. The State Department asked him not to move the embassy in Jerusalem. He moved the embassy in Jerusalem. And you can't tell me that didn't lead to more funding for Hamas, because we know from our intelligence agencies that it did. So we can pretend that he didn't start any wars, but he doesn't understand the nature of the world. The State Department told him, don't go to North Korea. The guy's never given up his nukes. He said, no, no, no. I'm Donald Trump, the supreme narcissist. I'm going to North Korea.
This motherfucker.
He's going to give up his nukes. Did he give up his nukes, Pierce? This is insanity that we're talking about a guy that is this intellectually bereft running the country. So you gotta.
But let me ask you, okay. But let me, before I go to Emily to respond to that, hang on. But before I go to Emily, Anthony, who do you think? Okay, but here's a tough question for you before I go to Emily to respond.
Damn.
If you're Vladimir Putin or you're Kim Jong-un or you're President Xi, who are you going to be more or less intimidated by? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Exactly. That's the big difference, Johnny, is, there's a difference of migrants that want to come here and be productive citizens and actually want to contribute to a healthy society. Then, of course, we're going to welcome that with open arms. You know what I mean? And of course, if you do it the legal route, that's it. You know what I mean? It's simple. I have never met a Republican or a conservative that was 100% against immigrants. You know what I mean? No, it's not that way. It's just you got to do it the right way. That's it. It's very simple.
No question, Kamala Harris. It's not even close.
Can't support degeneracy.
He wants to be them. He praises
this
them.
fucking guy.
He
There's no way he just
them.
said that. Hold on.
There's no.
We're bringing it back.
Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump. There's no question, Kamala Harris. It's not even close.
So what he asked right there was, who would be more of an intimidation factor to North Korea or whatever? Would it be Kamala Harris or Trump? And even dude over here who's a major liberal over here on the left, there's a reason why he's on the left over here. There's a reason why he said Trump. And this guy, you're going to find a little bit more about who this dude is coming up when he speaks, I believe, next. And he kind of exposes what the fuck is going on, why he is speaking the way he is. And then it's evident.
He's been very honest about it.
Who
to
do you
his staff.
think? Okay, but here's a tough question for you before I go to Emily to respond. If you're Vladimir Putin or you're Kim Jong-un or you're President Xi, who are you going to be more or less intimidated by? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Trump.
There's no question, Kamala Harris. It's not even close, because he wants to be them.
Look at her face.
He praises them.
Look at that face.
He solicits them. He tells Putin from a microphone like this, go ahead and invade the countries that are not spending 2% on NATO. You heard him
say
that.
What up, DJ?
It's not me saying.
I knew what he meant by that.
No question.
I knew what he meant.
Kidding, Chuck.
What he meant was, if the member countries of NATO don't pay
their
their dues, it is more likely that people like Putin will take advantage. That's what he meant. You know that.
It's
I know
a 2016 analysis, Pierce. Your analysis is a 2016 analysis. He dupes people. He says two things at the same time that are quite contradictory.
All right, let me bring
very fine people on both sides.
Let me bring in Emily.
Then he denounces the Nazis.
Emily, you were holding your face in utter
I know
horror.
the playbook, Pierce. I've been around it for a decade.
Okay, I saw Emily hold her head in horror as you said that the world's dictators will be more intimidated by Kamala Harris.
This is so great. This is such a great
question,
panel.
she's going to be
Trump
with NATO.
Has the spinal cord and the international respect that Biden in a million years can never achieve. Donald Trump had every world leader afraid of him.
They
He
laughed
just
at
said,
him,
Anthony,
Emily.
that Donald Trump should not, excuse me, let me speak. You just said Donald Trump should not have gone to North Korea. If this man has international respect and can go build bridges overseas, he has every single right and a duty as our leader to do so.
She's
Let me tell
absolutely
you something
right
about Donald Trump. Like him or not, he is feared. And that is what we need when the world has gone mad and you have Putin's invading Ukraine and you have Hamas attacking Israel and kidnapping 7 Americans that Biden failed, including, like Vinny just said, Hersh Goldberg, Poland, being murdered with Hamas posting a video. And what is Biden's response? Netanyahu didn't do enough. Biden's only response should have been, Hamas will pay the price. Biden should have been more present, not on a beach, using Hersh's poor parents as political tools at the DNC, pretending he cares about the American hostages, not relaxing in Delaware. They should have been more pressure on Iran to put pressure on the proxies, more negotiations with Qatar. Instead, he's this weak leader. But you know what? I want to pause for a moment. I'm blaming Joe Biden. I actually want to criticize the puppeteers that are controlling him, because I genuinely believe he has one foot in the grave.
now.
And that actually goes to a bigger problem, which is the entire Democratic Party. We don't know who's in charge. It is not Joe Biden, and it is surely as hell not Kamala Harris. So
She's got a brain,
here's
man.
this question: who is running the show, and how come we as the American people are not so outraged that this weakness is causing mass chaos, not just here, but all around the world? America is next. The West is the target. The Middle East is laughing at us right now because we have no leadership. Donald Trump would never let that happen.
Okay,
people respected him and people feared him, and I don't care if you like him or not. That doesn't matter when you vote.
Let me bring in Cenk, who's been waiting with unusual patience, it has to be said. I put it down to you must have had a summer break of some description that's calmed you a little bit. But be honest with me, Cenk. If I, do you really believe that when it comes to standing up to world leaders like Kim Jong-un, like Putin, like Xi and others, do you really believe that Kamala Harris is somebody that will exude an air on behalf of the United States that will be more intimidating to those guys than Trump would?
It's not even close. Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. You guys are looking at it, it's like all of this foreign policies, emotional vibes in the room.
It's because you guys are full of emotions. It's unreal.
And Kamala Harris walks in and are they like, oh my God, I'm intimidated, or oh, it's no big deal. And Trump walks in, they're like, oh my God, I fear him. No, it's about what you're willing to do, your actions, your policies, etc. So what does Kamala Harris have? Kamala Harris has the might of the administrative state in the U.S.
What policies does she have? I would love for you to expand on that. Please go and expand on that. Tell us how great her policies are.
They're behind her, and they know she's stable and she represents the general American establishment. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, I don't love the establishment, etc., but it is a fearsome entity. And everybody knows that a normal president of the United States speaks on behalf of that entity, and they fear that entity. When Donald Trump walks in the room, they're like, oh, thank God, what a clown. Okay, so easy to manipulate him. Here, let's tell him we like him. Hey, Donnie, we like you. You think, oh, I like you. I'm going to write love letters to you. So while he was he said he was writing love letters to Kim Jong-un built 6 nukes. What happened, tough guy? You let him build all those nukes. You did nothing about it. Because you're an idiot, so easily manipulated. You think Putin doesn't know that? They do a meeting.
It makes sense, man. Like, people can't argue it, man. Like, and I love when people get stuck into a corner where you absolutely have to concede, and people don't actually know how to concede a point. It's very funny how that works. People are very strange. Like, they'll like die for it. It's very weird. I'm very persuaded by facts. Facts come at me and that will change my opinion as facts. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is, right?
Trump comes out and he's like, Putin is right. Not our intelligence. The U.S. sucks. Putin is right. That weak guy just cares about money. You know what he says about the Saudis? They give me $30-40 million for an apartment. Shouldn't I like them?
Oh, we can absolutely agree on that.
Manipulated, a tiny mind. He's done nothing but encourage our enemies by being so weak and such an obvious narcissist. Do you know how easily I could play that guy if I'm in a room with him?
I love how the left
just go.
I love how the left uses that narcissist. Like, you can't label someone a fucking narcissist, motherfucker. There's no way. Like, people, it's funny because people often, women oftentimes actually claim that they were with a narcissistic boyfriend, blah blah blah, and all this shit. That's just a dodge of accountability. That's just cope. You know what I mean? The truth is I mean, it's just 100% cope at that point. That's just the truth. Hey, I'm not going to go further into
here, tweak there, and he's discombobulated, right? And if you're
not
going to
derail
too much flattery, which is the easiest thing in the world, you just get under his skin a little bit. Hey, your hair doesn't look good. Oh, what? I'm going to attack you. Come on, this guy's a fool. Look, all of you know it. All of you know. That's why you're spending all your time about, oh, look at Kamala Harris. She's a slightly normal politician. Ooh, that's so scary. Come on. Piers, you're going to ignore the fact that the other guy is totally unhinged and the easiest man in the world to manipulate.
No,
like
I think, listen, we've talked about Trump a lot. I've known, as Anthony and others, I've known Trump nearly 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. He has.
I've spoken to him many times, interviewed him 40 times. I know Trump very, very well. good, bad, and ugly. And I think he has equal measures of all three of those things. But I think that your characterization of him is almost, it's cartoonesque. And in a way that plays
he
into
is
Trump.
a cartoon character.
Well, maybe, but it plays into Trump's hands when you over-demonize him. You know, when I hear the left in America
He's right.
just ranting away about Trump
Damn
morning
it.
and night,
Pierce, again with a good hot
you're
take.
playing him the wrong way.
Pierce, he is that bad. He is that bad.
Dude, he sounds like he's whining right there. Did you hear that? He is that bad. He is that bad.
Him the wrong way.
Pierce, he is that bad. He is that bad. You're
Jesus.
I want to
covering-
meet Cenk in the
Pierce,
middle.
you know what is? Hold on.
Grab me a
One more
river,
thing.
dude.
You guys, you know what you sound like? You sound like Democrats that were saying that Joe Biden is young and dynamic behind the scenes. Guys, we have eyes and ears. We can see Donald Trump.
So he just threw his entire party just under the bus right there. That's pretty fucking hilarious. I don't know if you guys heard that. That's probably the first thing that he may have said that was only correct. You know what I mean? Just go and bring it back a little bit.
You guys, you know what you sound like? You sound like Democrats that were saying that Joe Biden is young and dynamic behind the scenes. Guys, we have eyes and ears. We can see Donald Trump. He's an unhinged madman. The only reason you don't think so is because you're so biased that you're like, oh, it's normal to terminate the Constitution or try to murder your vice
before I want to
president.
come to Vinny.
That's not normal.
Hang on. I want to come to Vinny. What I want to say once again, Cenk, you shouldn't misconstrue the fact I've known Trump a long time and say I see the good, bad, and ugly. You should never misconstrue this for me saying that Americans should vote for him or that I would vote for him, or any of those things. You seem incapable.
That's actually really good that Pierce just took that stance right there. That was actually fucking base as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Of assessing the stuff that comes
Good
out of my mouth
responsibility.
in an accurate way. You want to portray me as a diehard MAGA Republican. I'm not. People in England listening to this would laugh their heads off. I was editor of the Daily Mirror newspaper for 10 years. Huh?
Did you see your intro? It was 99% negative against Kamala Harris.
Well, no, it actually
come on,
wasn't.
every
You
time
see,
I come on here, you're
exactly
blaming
my
me
point.
heavily in favor of Donald
It
Trump.
wasn't, but you didn't listen properly because all you want to hear is Trump bashing. Let me bring in Vinny. Vinny, look, Trump has got a bit of a problem here.
He
There's
is
no
unhinged.
doubt the dynamic of this race changed dramatically. I spoke to Trump the night before it changed, which was a week after he got shot. He saw me on Fox saying how it was extraordinary that he was back on stage at another rally, and we had a perfectly nice conversation. And I said to him, I reckon you've got this election sewn up now because of this assassination attempt. And he went, let me tell you, if I've learned one thing in the last 3 weeks, it's that 4 months is a very long time. Anything could happen. And the next day, Joe Biden quit the race.
Papa.
And all the momentum has been behind Kamala Harris and the Democrats ever since. And I've detected with Trump that he's really struggled to work out how to attack the new threat. What do you think?
Real quick, right before we get his thought, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you bang on that like button, man. You guys don't have to like it for what these Dems are saying. You can like it for what I've got to say. You know what I mean? I very much appreciate all of you guys with this commercial break. You know what I mean? Hey, let's get it.
Well, I mean, and Cenk made a good point. That establishment, the problem is the establishment and Donald Trump. And I don't care how angry, how much hate Anthony has for him, because I mean, Anthony was fired, after 10 days, sounds like a bitter ex-employee.
Oh man, you
Cenk has Trump derangement syndrome, whether you like it or not, brother. The hate, what people like you don't tend to understand, Cenk, you know what people like you don't understand? Everybody is tired of that BS rhetoric. It's one man going against the establishment for us. And you know what, Piers? It's crazy. You mentioned the president of the ex-president of the United States was shot in the head, okay? And then after a week, nobody was talking about it. The legacy media, mainstream media, 98% of it is Trump is this evil man. And there is a problem, Piers, because people are brainwashed into thinking it's all Trump. Because people like me and Emily know, we're thinking even this is bigger than Trump. Okay, this is us against that establishment, Cenk, and it's never going to go away. And just to give you a little example, Piers, about how much these people have just hate and disgust for Trump. Last Monday, he was at Arlington National Cemetery.
It's because he actually is a bitter ex-employee. He used to work for Trump for 2 years and then got fired by Trump. And then he says that he was loyal to Trump 2 years after he got fired. And then apparently Donald Trump tweeted at his wife, and he states that because of that, now that he's going to be advocating absolutely 100% against him at every cost. So we're getting emotional in this bitch.
Cemetery, okay, he was invited by Gold Star families of soldiers who were murdered in Afghanistan in 2021.
Yeah.
They invited him.
Beezer.
They wanted photos. Guess what the media said? He's taking it. This is a campaign ploy and all this BS. You know who else was invited? Joe Biden was invited. Kamala Harris was invited, and none of them showed up. Biden was on the beach trying to use his cell phone, and Kamala was in her freaking God knows how many $1 million mansion. Okay, guys, stop. Check this whole Trump talk. We're done with it. Okay, and if they didn't cheat, I know we're gonna get into Zuckerberg and FBI and Facebook. If they didn't cheat,
rising.
you guys would be done with him in November. But that system, that same establishment, we're just tired of it. We're tired of that system. And you're right, Piers. There is a problem because when 98% of the media is he's Hitler, he's this, he's evil.
TJ.
What else? FBI, he's going to use the FBI as the Gestapo. Are you freaking nuts? The FBI has been used as a Gestapo for the past 7 years against Donald Trump. Okay? And if it can happen to him, I'm worried about the future of the Republican Party.
All right,
that's the real talk of the time.
Let me bring in Anthony here. Anthony, if you were running the Democrat campaign right now, you've got a bit of momentum with Kamala Harris, although probably not as much as you might have hoped in the polling from the convention, which was a coronation, really. But if you were looking at the key attack...
You know how I envision, there was a very good video that I got the other day on my Instagram, and it was about as accurate as I could depict. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this, and this is what I imagine you guys let me know. You guys let me know if this is an accurate depiction. But we've got a video from Atlanta, Georgia, right? And I'm going to go ahead and present that now. And you guys let me know. This is what I envision what is basically a liberal America. It's a Democrat America.
85% black. It's Cape Town,
Atlanta is 85% black. That's right.
Why is everybody cursing?
Right. What the fuck?
What is going on? Why does it feel like I'm looking at the episode of The Walking Dead? Zombies just walking aimlessly, doing nothing. The car pulls up, everybody's looking like you're about to get shot. You notice that? Yeah.
God damn.
Look at the bars on the windows. They been at the bottom. Somebody's trying to get in there. What are you going to go buy some Swisher Sweets? You'll probably get a 40 ounce. And a new wave cap.
New wave cap?
You know you're in a bad neighborhood. You're behind bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof glass.
All these Negroes jaywalking. This dude got a tent. Look at all them bicycles in the road like that. Like he directed traffic. People ain't working. People just cussing, screaming at each other. Hey, you think we can find a white neighborhood like that? Maybe in Russia. Like in Russia, they'd lock you up for being like that. Yeah. You know, Putin, they don't have a crazy... Putin ain't putting up with that. Putin ain't playing with that. He locked up that one black girl for just having some weed over. Atlanta, Georgia's what? 85.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta give it up to the Hodge twins, man. Fucking amazing, dude. Yeah. Yep. So fucking good. But we ain't done yet. That was just a little fun, little bit.
Lines against Trump. What would they be? Would they be J.D. Vance? Would they be
abortion? Dog, it's great.
Would you play the women side of this strongly? Where do you think he's most vulnerable if you're running a Kamala Harris campaign?
Well, I think he's most vulnerable actually on policy, and I think that's going to be her Achilles heel if she doesn't come out.
Absolutely, Steve. We'll see on the flip side.
Speaking about what her policies are and comparing them to his, and she doesn't speak about the 5.7 billion people that are under autocracy right now and what America represents, not only to the people here in the United States and around the world. That's going to be her Achilles heel. But I just want to briefly address what Vinny is saying. I don't hate Donald Trump. I was loyal to him. I got fired no problem with the firing. I was loyal to him for 2 years after the firing.
Yeah,
when he
they're
started
great.
attacking
The
me
Hodge twins.
personally for absolutely no reason. And then he went after my wife. I mean, Vinny's Italian. I don't know. Not allowed to go after my wife. I'm not Ted Cruz.
So did you guys hear what
so-
he's saying right here? I mean, he's basically, for the last, since we started the video back up, he is basically bitching that he got fired from Donald Trump, held his loyalty for 2 years, but apparently Donald Trump tweeted at his wife, and he's a very protective Italian, and that is his excuse to advocate absolutely 100% against Trump.
So I will work assiduously against him for the rest of my life.
For the rest of my life,
he's a disaster.
See?
But I got to tell you something. 2 years after my firing, I was loyal to the guy. You can go look at the tape. So I'm not a disgruntled employee. I see it for what it exactly
absolutely
is.
are.
I understand his.
How are you going to say you're not a disgruntled employee after you said I will do everything in my power to advocate against him? Like, what do you mean, dude? Like, you will go at all costs, dude? Like, what do you mean, dude? Sounds like you're extremely fucked up by the whole situation.
Systemic danger to the world, and I will sit here and advocate for anybody other than him. And if you guys put up Ron DeSantis, he'd probably be up 50 points.
Well, Tony, just really fast. 4 years of Trump,
That's a
aside
good one,
personal
Beezer.
stuff aside, put that all aside. I get it. I understand. 4 years of that, okay? And then this 4 years of Biden and the Democratic Party. I put all your feelings aside. And by the way, I'm Assyrian. I'm Middle Eastern, but I do look Italian. Thank you. 4 years of Trump, 4 years of this Democratic rule. Be honest with yourself.
He's mean. Exactly. Orange Mountain bad. He's mean. Yeah, absolutely. That is what it is. I don't like him because my emotions don't like him. Yeah, no, I know.
To be honest with our viewers.
Facts. That's right.
Who would you vote for? You would want this past 4 years than Trump's 4 years? Are you kidding? Anthony, put all that personal stuff aside. Come on, man.
That's what's funny.
I'm a lifelong Republican. I'm a center-right Republican. He does not represent that.
Center-right Republican? What? Dude, you ever just spilled rhetoric of the extreme left. What the fuck are you on, motherfucker? Don't be capping over here.
Stop the cap. It's ironic because Cenk and I are on the same side of this thing, okay? I'm a center-right Republican. Love debating him when we're not dealing with Donald Trump. To his point, Donald Trump is a raving lunatic. He's an extremely dangerous person. You don't want him anywhere near the White House. You've only got two choices. I'm going with Kamala Harris. If you guys want to put up Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley in 2028, I'll return to my party. And I'll do anything I can to help them. But I'm not helping this guy because I know how dangerous he is. I know how bad he is. And just to point out, because you guys were talking about North Korea and he has the right to go to North Korea, actually, we had a 60-year established policy to curb it. All he did was give the North Korean dictator propaganda reels to play inside and outside of his country for the last 5 or 6 years.
These guys that use the word, honestly, these guys that use moderate, center, all this bullshit, they're lying. Independent, the truth is people are so radicalized at this point. And then, but what's funny is I respect someone that says they're center and then actually lays down some center bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with that. I can respect it, but don't say you're center or whatever and then spew extreme left or right model. You don't go into that. You know what I mean? It works against you. 100%.
Okay, so Vin, I hear you. But I'm going to tell you something, Vin. I'm just looking at you, man.
It just shows how
He's
much
going after your wife
you've
on
got.
Twitter. I don't see you as Ted Cruz. And by the way, I'm not Ted Cruz. Okay, I'm an Italian kid from Long Island. Don't go after my wife on Twitter after I gave you $1 million of cash and hundreds of hours of media advocacy. No way,
Very
no how.
disgruntled.
And I will be turning him into the ground until November 6th.
You sound very disgruntled, homie.
Okay, lovely.
Emily, let me tell you something.
No, the problem is
you
that,
make
again,
the
there's too
election
much
about what you
emotion.
want it to
There's
be.
so
I'll
much
make it about what I want it to
The
be.
election is not about happy, happy, joy.
When a woman is telling you you are dealing with too much emotion, that's a fucking dude. That's crazy. Let's hear that. Let's run that back.
Let me bring in Emily.
Okay, lovely.
Emily, let me tell you something.
No, the problem is
you
that,
make
again,
the
there's too
election
much
about what you
emotion.
want it to
There's
be. I'll
too-
make it about what I want it to
The
be.
election is not about happy, happy, joy, joy. This is our security on the line. This is the future of the United States. Vinny posed a very simple question. This is a bizarre election. We've had 4 years of Donald Trump. It's not his first time. He doesn't need to tell us what he's going to do. We've already seen what he's capable of doing.
We
We've
lost
seen the
21 million
stability in our
jobs on his
country,
watch.
the stability in our economy.
Yep.
Well, that was the
because Biden
pandemic.
did so well fixing
And
that.
guess what? Guess what, Hardwire? Vengeance is a fool's game. I just get motherfucking even. That's it.
This is not a joke. Everyone's treating this election like it's Hollywood. They don't understand. We need closed borders. We need controlled spending. We need security. We need laws to become laws again. This lawlessness going around the country
that's rough,
and the
DJ.
crime surge is being tolerated. What's happening on college campuses? What's happening internationally? You guys really sitting here telling me that Kamala Harris is going to be respected by international leaders has me laughing out loud. I'm not what you're saying I am, Cenk. I'm not obsessed with Donald Trump, and I do not hate Kamala Harris. I do not believe she's presidential. Somebody please tell me why I'm wrong. Somebody tell me what policies.
She's actually asking for it. That's awesome, dude. Like, she's legitimately asking, like, explain why. How is this possible? Like, how would she be better in any regard?
She will instate that will make this country a better place than where Trump had it before Biden was president. Someone answer that simple question.
Yep.
She's a great woman.
Extreme morons.
I love you, Kamala Harris. Don't run for president.
Okay.
What are you going to answer now?
We're going to bring in a guest briefly and then come back to the panel in a moment. But first of all, Cenk, let me ask you. It's an interesting point about Kamala Harris. I know what Trump stands for. You know, his messaging, he's a very skilled
He sure has a
marketer.
pretty mouth.
We know he's about build the wall, make America great, all these other things. He rattles off his greatest hits at every rally. I'm really not sure what Kamala Harris stands for. And after that interview with CNN, and it's no fault of Dana Bash, who I used to work with, I've got great respect for her as a journalist. It's not her fault, but Kamala Harris didn't lay out any.
It's kind of funny. If we're going to have a woman ever run, why don't we ever have a woman run from the right? You know what I mean? Like someone like her, you know, who actually makes some fucking sense. Now, I'm not advocating for an actual woman president because I believe in the patriarchy. So, I mean, but I'm just saying it's funny how that never happens. But hey, maybe, you know, maybe the right understands the concept of the patriarchy. You know what I mean? Seems like that is the way it is.
And if I was a Democrat, I'd be really worried about what's going to happen at the debate if it gets into the meat and drink of policy.
I literally don't understand you
Yo,
guys.
what's good,
Kamala
Chase?
Harris is the
Good to
most
see you, my
normal
man.
politician of my lifetime. Like, and you guys keep saying, like, look at her. She's so weak. She's so this. She's so.
What does
I
she
don't
stand
see
for,
any
Cenk?
of that.
What does she stand for?
What does she stand for?
Yeah,
The
Cenk.
and
They
you guys
can't
talking about.
answer the question.
Can I answer the question?
Yeah.
Can
Give me
I
three
answer the
things she
question?
stands for.
So, yes.
She's sane.
So
We got
she's
it. She's
announced
sane.
them. Okay. So number one, she talked about housing, which is a huge issue in this country. If you block the private equity guys from buying our homes, that would be a massive gain for the American people. What's Donald Trump's housing policy? He says, oh, drill, baby, drill. That has nothing to do with housing. He's such a moron. Okay, then you talk about the prices were out of control. She says, hey, we should have a check on that. That is your grocery store, your gas, etc. Things that matter in your life. She at least has a policy. What's Trump's policy? I'm going to give corporations another tax cut. Well, listen, you were in office for 4 years, to Vinny's point. And what did you do? You didn't even build a wall. You built like 30 feet of wall. He remembered it at the last second. The main thing he did was he took corporate tax rates from 35% to 21%. He gave trillions of dollars to his corporate donors. The problem with the establishment is that they work for those donors. Well, how about Trump? He says, Sheldon Adelson, Miriam Adelson, I'll just give you U.S. foreign policy on Israel, and you said it, and he brags about it. He says, oil companies, I'll let you set oil policy. He is so both systemically, and personally corrupt. He's the worst of all worlds, and Kamala Harris has these policy positions you guys never talk about while you pretend that Trump has policy. Trump's only policy
that's a really good question.
Another corporate tax cut down to 15% so they can keep robbing us.
Cenk, why can't she sit down one-on-one and have a conversation without another human being next to her to help her out and make her feel comfortable. She doesn't have any policies, Cenk. This is the establishment that you were talking about. They want to keep us like this. Because, Cenk, the average American that doesn't know about politics, that doesn't listen to panels like this, what they're feeling, their gut, their paycheck, their security, the border, all that, they're feeling it, Cenk. They don't give a damn who's in charge. They just know that this past 4 years has been a complete shit show, Cenk. And you're educated. For you to say Kamala Harris has Cenk, either somebody's paying you, because you're smart, Cenk.
No,
I say it again.
Vinny,
I respect
listen,
that.
can I just answer that?
Somebody has to be paying people because you don't have no policies on her. Nothing that she's saying is valid or it's going to happen, Cenk.
You know
They've
what?
had 4 years to do it.
Just to jump in, I actually do think that, as Bill Clinton, I think it was, rightly said, these things are.
Damn, that does sound good.
These elections. I do think the economy is going to be a massive factor. I think when that debate happens on the 10th, Americans will tune in huge numbers. I reckon it'll break all records. And they'll look at those two candidates and they will ask themselves one question. The majority of Americans who are feeling the pinch. Which one is going to be better for my economy, my personal family economy? And I think as things stand, unless she can turn that around, Cenk, I say this very respectfully to your position on this, I think that more people at the moment will associate Trump with the economy potentially growing better under him and her. I might be wrong, but I suspect that's what that debate
Pierce
will
is
unravel.
right.
I've got to leave it there. Thank you to my panel. You've all been terrific.
Hey, I got to give a round of applause to Pierce, man. That was actually a good job done by him, man. What you guys think of that ordeal right there? That was way too fucking good. I love watching panels like that, man. It's always very entertaining. I love being able to break it down and show the idiocracy from one party. You know what I mean? And the truth is I expose both sides. You know what I mean? Even on the right, even though people know that I'm a conservative at heart, I follow Christian ethics and all of that, right? But I will still absolutely say when the right is wrong. And I'm infamous for not putting my emotions into it. And what I think I always try to think objectively how it will better society, not just me. You know what I mean? And that's what people truly need to start doing. And maybe they need to join a motorcycle club to understand that concept. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all that donated to the show, man. I can't thank you guys enough. We got Tiffany who donated to the show as well. On the Cash App. I very much thank you for that. Huggy, thank you for the $2 dono before we had even started, saying keep up the good work. I appreciate you, man. Steve Easy with the $10 donation, and then Dark Horse with the $20 super sticker. That's right, man. I very much appreciate all of you guys. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, man. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. And you guys already know we always have the best topics over here. Much love, honor, respect. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to his ready to claim his throne. The chaos and earth, the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only man so can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit.